guys, and welcome back to Rise on the Road.
Last week we were in Big Bend, Texas.
Let's see what we did there.
The campground we stayed at was privately owned and very small. It was the smallest we've ever stayed in, but it was still very nice. The bathroom there had a very nice rain shower that we all enjoyed.
In the morning we went to Big Bend Church. Everyone there was so sweet. After the service, they held a going-away lunch for some of the missionaries, and we joined in.
On our first day in Big Bend National Park, we explored it on a scenic drive. We stopped to take a quick walk to the site of some ruins of an old ranch built in Big Bend. Then we stopped at an overlook of a canyon. After that, we stopped at a visitor center that had burned down, but the new one wasn't open yet. Next, we stopped at two different places where we could touch the Rio Grande. The first time was an easy boat launch, and the second was a little walk to the shore. They were both infested with huge wasps, so we didn't stay long. To end the day, we watched a beautiful sunset.
On the third day, we stayed home because it was Halloween. We made special food just for the occasion. Brietta made a carved-out watermelon to look like a jack-o'-lantern. Gemma made a spiderweb 7-layered dip. Mom made a skeleton hummus tray. Melina made bloodshot deviled eggs. And I made mummy dogs. We also dressed up. Gemma was Rey from Star Wars. Brietta was a witch. I was a cheerleader. Melina was Little Red Riding Hood. Mom had a laziest costume ever outfit, and Dad had a Chewbacca shirt. We watched a lot of Halloween movies too. We went to a Cossie that was going to have a chili cook-off, and a lot of boondockers were handing out candy. We were only out for about half an hour, but we got a lot of candy. It was a very exciting Halloween for us, and I hope all of you had a great Halloween too. The next day, we went to Terlingua Ghost Town. To be honest, it wasn't really a ghost town. There were people living in some of the structures and a very big store. On the fifth day, we were in Big Bend. We went to Mexico. It was my sisters and I first time in another country. We had been seeing Mexico for days now, just across the Rio Grande. Before we left, we got breakfast at a little RV in front of the campground. Then we went to Boquillas Crossing port of entry. The people there looked at our passports and we were off. We took the muddy trail to get to the boat crossing. It was $5 round trip in the boat. When we got to Mexico, we were still more than a half a mile away from town. So my mom and dad let us ride donkeys there. Mine's name was Gordillo, which means fat. I didn't think he was very fat. It turns out that you get a guide if you get donkeys, so Emilio came with us. The donkeys were very nice and they know the way. In some ways, they are just like horses, like how they rock back and forth when they walk. When we got there, I noticed there were a lot of village dogs, and many of them were friendly. We looked around at all the booths and shops up. We got an embroidered towel with a donkey on it. We even saw a horse tied up to an old saloon. After that, we ate lunch at an outside restaurant. They served 3 great plates, and we got 2 of them and a quesadilla. Melina got a Mexican Coke, Mom and Dad got Frescas, and Gemma, Brietta, and I got Sprites. Then we rode our donkeys back. At the beginning, Gemma was scared of riding a donkey, but by the end, she loved it. We said goodbye to our donkeys and got back on the boat. To get back into the US, we have to do so much more, including talking to a customs officer through a virtual kiosk. All in all, the trip to Mexico was awesome. After we got back from Mexico, we went to the Buquias Canyon Trail. It was 1.4 miles round trip and not too hard. At the end, there was the Rio Grande in a canyon. Little did I know, it was very muddy. I walked right to the riverbank, right into the mud. I had soggy shoes all the way back. The other girls learned from my mistake and took their shoes and socks off before going to dip their feet in. Melina got mud all the way up to her knees. It was very muddy fun.
After the hike, we visited the Fossil Discovery exhibit. We learned all about different fossils found in Big Bend. They were all casting of the original fossils, but they were still very cool to look at. We hiked the Lost Mine Trail on Thursday. It was a 5-mile round-trip hike. It was completely uphill and very strenuous. Not as strenuous as the Vernal Falls Trail in Yosemite, but still very hard. The top was a beautiful view of Big Bend.
We made it from that green valley down there. That's where we started. That was a good 2.5 mile hike, nearly straight up, lots of switchbacks.
My dad really wanted to go to the Chisos Basin, so we went there for lunch after the Lost Mine Trail. We looked at the visitor center and became junior rangers. Then we went in the store and there was a non-operational telephone booth we could take pictures in. Then we ate lunch at a nice diner.
Big Bend is super remote, so many options are limited. We got lucky and stayed in a basically brand new family-owned park with a food truck right out front. The bulk of our expense was our day trip to Mexico, and it was so worth it. The townspeople have lived there for generations and rely solely on tourism, so the past couple of years were difficult for them, but they're back to about 75 visitors a day, the average from pre-pandemic. We all enjoyed it, and the girls were able to see what a small, remote village in Mexico is like. And when I say remote, it's 3 to 4 hours to the nearest gas station because the town is surrounded by a nature preserve. It was very weird to be assessed by Border Patrol through the kiosk. We never even saw him on the screen. So different than any other crossing I've made.
My favorite part was going to Mexico.
See you next week on Eyes on the Road.
Bye!